Conquer the Sky, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Zay, collectively known as SoCal Uncensored or
SCU! This is Catch, Hook, and Shoot, the worst podcast I've ever been on. Word.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Catch, Hook, and Shoot, the best podcast you never heard of. My name's Tom. I am your host. Today is Saturday, May 29th, 2021. This is a special Saturday edition of the show. I want to thank everybody for watching, listening, and subscribing on YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Make sure to check out the website, catchhookshoot.com. You can find all the podcasts, all the interviews, basically everything having to do with the show, including the Catch, Hook, and Shoot shop, where you can grab t-shirts and hats and all that kind of fun stuff. Make sure you're following on social media on all platforms. You can find the show at Catch Hook Shoot. Head to patreon.com/catchhookshoot for bonus content, which the June content will be going up this coming Tuesday on June 1st. Head to Patreon. Patreon. I just said Patreon. Head to twitch.tv/catchhookshoot and make sure you subscribe there, where we do watch parties every now and then. Haven't done one in a little bit, but I'm planning on doing one hopefully coming up in the next couple of weeks here. And prowrestlingtees.com/catchhookshoot, where you can find exclusive t-shirts over there that you won't find anywhere else. And you can find all that and more on our Linktree, which is linktree/catchhookshoot, or you can just scan this little QR code right here in the corner of your screen if you're watching on YouTube. And if you ever want to shoot me an email, it's catchhookshoot@gmail.com. So like I said, this is a special Saturday edition of the show after we took a week off last week, which was much needed. Feeling a little burnt out, needed a rest to just kind of recharge, refocus, and that kind of good stuff. So, but yeah, we are back with a special edition of the show this week. This week is not our typical episode. This week it is all about AEW's Double or Nothing coming up tomorrow night, and yeah, I'm going to have my preview and predictions coming up here in just a second, and then we are going to get the same thing from Charlie G in a special edition of the Indie Cut coming up in a little bit here. So let's get into this. AEW Double or Nothing, first major wrestling pay-per-view with a full capacity crowd. And if you watched Dynamite last night, you saw the Daly's Place in Jacksonville was pretty much packed to capacity, and it was really cool to see a full crowd back at a wrestling event. And so I'm sure it's going to be the same thing for Double or Nothing coming up here tomorrow night. And this is a stacked card. I mean, it's hard to pick winners in some of these, because you got a lot of big matchups going on. But so let's get into it here with my predictions. First of all, on the kickoff show, we've got a match for the NWA World Women's Championship. Serena Deeb defending against Riho. I expect this to be a great match. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of surprised it's on the kickoff show, but something has to go on the kickoff show. These are all fantastic matches, any one of which could steal the show. And this one's no different. But, I'm going with Serena Deeb in this one just because she does have a title defense coming up against Thunder Rosa at the next NWA pay-per-view, and I don't see an NWA title changing hands on an AEW pay-per-view when NWA has their own pay-per-view coming up in just a couple of weeks. So I'm going with Serena Deeb in this one, but I think it is going to be a great match between these two. Then moving on to the main show for the AEW Women's World Championship, Hikaru Shida defending against Dr. Britt Baker. Shida has been the AEW Women's World Champion for a full year. We saw on Dynamite last night they had like a little celebration of her year-long reign, longest reigning champion in the short history of AEW. First person to hold an AEW championship for a full year. and she was presented with a brand new belt last night, which is pretty cool looking. I mean, it's the same basic design as the AEW Women's title, but it's quite a bit bigger, which I like. And they got rid of the rose gold. It's just straight gold and silver, dual plated, and with diamonds or crystals, whatever they are. And but yeah, nice looking championship. Like I said, a little bit bigger. Because that was the only issue I had with the AEW Women's title, was it was so small. And granted, a majority of the women in AEW's women's division, are on the smaller side. But, when you have someone like Nyla Rose potentially winning the championship, she couldn't wear the belt. So I like that they, made it a little bit bigger, but it's the same basic design, like I said, and it's just straight gold and silver, and it's a nice looking belt. I like it. I'm very, very happy with the new AEW Women's Championship. But for this match, I got to go with Dr. Britt Baker in this one. I think it is, people have been calling for her to win that championship for a long time, and what she says is the truth. She is the face of the women's division. She's I would say, the most prominent woman in the division. So I think it is her time to win that championship. Now, I definitely think there's going to be some type of shenanigans going on in this match, possibly with Reba or Rebel or whatever you choose to call her. But I'm going with Dr. Britt Baker to win the AEW Women's World Championship. Moving on to what I would call a big time grudge match here. Cody Rhodes, being known as the American Dream for this one time only, taking on Anthony Ogogo, and this match has been hyped up pretty good. I think some people had an issue with making it a USA versus UK type of thing, but to me it works. You've got Anthony Ogogo talking all kinds of trash about the United States, and Cody Rhodes going with the American Dream name, obviously borrowing that from his father, Dusty. And, it's a classic storyline from pro wrestling that has been used for decades. The all-American babyface against the evil foreign heel type of thing. And, it works to me. It's always worked. It's always gonna work. So I've been liking the build up to this. And for this one, I'm picking Anthony Ogogo. I mean, there was a lot of hype when he signed with AEW, which was very shortly after AEW's inception. He's an Olympic gold medalist, professional boxer, and signed with AEW. Obviously had no wrestling experience when he signed, but has been training all that time, has worked on commentary, and just recently, just within the last couple months, made his in-ring debut for AEW. And, obviously trained at the Nightmare Factory under Cody and QT Marshall. And and obviously one of Cody's prize students. Put aside what we see on TV, Anthony Ogogo is Cody's student. So I'm going with Ogogo in this one. I'm going with Cody putting over his prize student, as I said before. And what really makes me think that that's the case is because Cody is going to be known as the American Dream for this particular match. And if you think back to Dusty and all the big rivalries that he had, whether it was Ric Flair or Arn Anderson or whoever it might be, how many big matches did Dusty actually win? I mean, Dusty was the booker back then, and he, obviously always put himself in a main event spotlight. Made himself look fantastic as the baby face in the rivalry. But I mean, seriously, how many big matches did Dusty actually win? 90% of the time, it was Dusty putting over the heel, whether it was Ric Flair or Arn Anderson or Tully Blanchard or Nikita Koloff or whoever it might be. So, I mean, yes, Dusty had his championship runs, but how long did he hold those titles? He'd win a big match here and there and take a title for a little while, but in the end, it was always Dusty chasing somebody. So I'm thinking that's the formula that they're going to go with here. So I'm picking Anthony Ogogo in this one to kind of launch him to that next level in AEW. But I still think it's going to be a great match. I think we're going to see, what Anthony Ogogo can actually do in the ring. Because thus far we've just seen, he's got that one punch, the gut punch as his finisher, which I honestly, I think is an effective finisher. I really do, especially when you consider he is an Olympic medal boxer. So, I mean, I wouldn't want to take a gut punch from Anthony Ogogo. I'm not thinking anybody else would either. So, to me, that's a believable finisher for somebody like Anthony Ogogo. So, yeah, Ogogo is my pick for this match here. Then we've got the Casino Battle Royale, and this is for a future shot at the AEW World Championship. And this, excuse me, again is a 21-man battle royal with the staggered entry. You know, I think it's 5 guys at a time, 4 guys at a time, whatever it might be. And you know, the one surprise entry, the Joker, as it were. But the guys in this match: Christian Cage, Matt Sydal, Powerhouse Hobbs, Pentagon, Jungle Boy, Matt Hardy, Mark Quinn, Isaiah Cassidy, The Blade, Evil Uno, Colt Cabana, 10, Griff Garrison, Brian Pillman Jr., Max Caster, Anthony Bowens, QT Marshall, Nick Camarado, Dustin Rhodes, Lee Johnson, and then, of course, the Joker, the surprise entry. Now, the surprise entry, I'm thinking it might be Paul White. This might be his in-ring debut for AEW. So, you know, I'm thinking that's who I'm speculating is going to be the 21st man, but we'll have to wait and see. But as far as a winner from the field that is out there, I'm going to go with Christian Cage. They've, you know, they've been teasing, or they teased something with him and Kenny Omega when Christian first debuted for AEW. So, and this, like I said, the winner of this match gets a world title match. So I'm going to go with Christian Cage as the winner of the Casino Battle Royale. And like I said, Paul White is my guess for the 21st man, the surprise entrant. And then got another singles match here. Hangman Adam Page taking on Brian Cage. And this is another one they've been building up because they've been kind of teasing a little bit of a split with Team Taz, specifically with Brian Cage, and Hangman has been kind of egging Cage on, saying, you know, oh, I'm surprised, you know, that you need all this help and that kind of thing. So, and last night on Dynamite we saw, you know, more of the same, and Page basically telling Cage, you know, leave Team Taz in the back. Let's do this one-on-one. So we'll have to see if that's going to happen. But I'm going to go with Hangman Adam Page in this one. I think and this could be the catalyst that splits Brian Cage from Team Taz. You know, maybe we see Hook or Powerhouse Hobbs try to get involved. It backfires and it costs Cage the match. And that's what causes him to leave Team Taz. But either way, I'm going with Hangman Page in this one. And then we've got a match for the AEW TNT Championship. Miro defending against Lance Archer. And this is another one, you know, that's been built up pretty good. Miro took the title off of Darby Allin, and immediately Lance Archer was pretty much right in his face. And, you know, as much as I want to see Lance Archer win this title, I think Miro is going to retain. Now, I see AEW doesn't do a lot in the way of disqualifications or countouts or, you know, that kind of stuff. So I'm saying Miro's going to retain, not necessarily win the match, because I don't really see Lance Archer losing. So we could see a time limit draw. We could see maybe a countout. We could see maybe some type of disqualification, maybe a double disqualification, you know, that can lead to another match down the line, possibly like a cage match or a street fight or something like that. But I don't see this one having a clear-cut, clean finish. So I'm going to say, like I said, I'm saying Miro is going to retain, but not necessarily win, if that makes sense. Okay, and then we've got a tag team match. Sting and Darby Allin taking on Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, and this is Sting's first sanctioned in-ring match in 6 years, as was hyped up last night on Dynamite. And, you know, I think, I mean, Darby Allin is an established star in AEW, no doubt, having held the TNT Championship and just, you know, getting victory after victory before he lost the title to Miro, which, you know, there was, obviously he was already quote-unquote injured because of an attack from Sky and Page. So, you know, Darby Allin is already an established star. Sting, obviously a legend in the business in general. So, in this one, I'm going with Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. They, you know, Ethan Page just debuted at the last pay-per-view for AEW, and Scorpio Sky is one that I think, kind of along the same lines of Hangman Page, was really hyped as one of the future faces of AEW. So, there's a lot to be gained for them in this match. So I am going with Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page to get the victory over Sting and Darby. And then for the here we go, the AEW World Tag Team Championship, the Young Bucks defending against Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. I got to go with Mox and Kingston on this one. It's just a feeling. The Bucks, of course, are going to have the Elite with them, so we're definitely going to see some chicanery going on in this one, or at least attempted chicanery from the Good Brothers and possibly Don Callis. But in the end, I'm going to go with Mox and Kingston in this one. They seem to be getting the better of the Young Bucks over the last few weeks. So, I'm going with Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. And then we have the Stadium Stampede match, the Pinnacle taking on the Inner Circle. And I think this is going to be very different from the Stadium Stampede match that we saw last year, where it was the Inner Circle versus the Elite. Simply because, last year we saw quite a few comedy type spots, and that's the Elite's thing. The Bucks, Kenny Omega, and those guys. We saw the Northern Lights suplexes all the way across the field from Matt Jackson, and Hangman Page chasing Sammy Guevara on the horse, and Matt Hardy chasing Sammy Guevara with the golf cart, and that kind of. I don't think we're going to see that kind of stuff on in this match this time. I think this is going to be a much more serious, much more brutal type match between the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle, and the stipulation in this one is if Inner Circle loses, they have to disband, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I'm picking the Pinnacle to get the victory in this one again, just like they did in Blood and Guts, mostly because I think it's time for the Inner Circle to split. I mean, Chris Jericho has a tour coming up with Fozzy, so he's going to be off TV probably for an extended period of time anyway. But, I think it's time to get Santana and Ortiz into the tag team title picture. I think it's time to get Jake Hager and Sammy Guevara off on their own and get them involved in some individual rivalries. I could definitely see Sammy Guevara, going after the TNT title at some point. Same thing with Jake Hager. Get him involved in some rivalries with some of the bigger guys in AEW, like Miro, like Lance Archer. Or keep the thing going with him and Wardlow. A lot of possibilities there. So I think it is time to split up the Inner Circle and set them off on their own and have them doing their own thing. So I am picking the Pinnacle to win the Stadium Stampede match. And then for the AEW World Championship, we got a three-way match. Kenny Omega defending against Orange Cassidy and Pac. I think this match is going to be phenomenal with these three guys in there. I think we're going to see a lot of big spots from all three of these guys. But in the end, I think Kenny Omega is going to retain. Mostly because I don't think he's going to, of all the championships he's collected so far, I don't think he is going to lose the AEW World title first. I see him dropping the AAA title potentially to Andrade at Triple Mania. I see him dropping the Impact / TNA title potentially to Moose, who's the number one contender right now. But I think the AEW title is the one that he's going to hold on to even after he's lost the other championships that he's got so far. So I am going with Kenny Omega to retain in this one, and again, that's going to, I think, lead to a rivalry with Christian Cage coming out of the Casino Battle Royale. So that's my prediction for this one is Kenny Omega to retain over Orange Cassidy and Pac. So let's run this down one more time. We got Serena Deeb retaining against Riho. We got Britt Baker winning the Women's World title from Hikaru Shida. Anthony Ogogo defeating Cody Rhodes. Christian Cage winning the Casino Battle Royale. Hangman Page defeating Brian Cage in their match. Miro retaining, but not necessarily winning, versus Lance Archer for the TNT Championship. Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page getting the win over Sting and Darby Allin. Moxley and Kingston winning the AEW World Tag Team titles, the Pinnacle defeating the Inner Circle in the Stadium Stampede, and Kenny Omega defeating Orange Cassidy and Pac to retain the AEW World Championship. So those are my previews and predictions for AEW Double or Nothing coming up tomorrow night. So right now, I'm going to throw it over to Charlie G. He is here with a very special edition of the Indie Cut with his preview and predictions for Double or Nothing. So take it away, Charlie G.
Hey there, wrestling friends. I am Charlie G with, not the Indie Cut, but I am part of the AEW Double or Nothing prediction show. I'll begin with the pre-show match with Riho and Serena Deeb for the NWA Women's title. I'd like to say Riho, but I think with Serena Deeb defending it at the next NWA pay-per-view on the 6th, I think Serena will retain. Next up, the Casino Battle Royal. Christian Cage. Who else? I think AEW already set up a Omega Christian Cage match, so why not make it for a title match, right? So I will pick Christian Cage to win this, even with the mystery entrant of being who knows who, but I'll still go with Christian. Next match, Sting and Darby Allin versus Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. To me, this is a toss-up, even though I am wearing a Sting shirt. Sting already has his first win in AEW with Darby in the street fight, but Ethan is the new guy. Sky is the high potential guy who really hasn't caught a good break, and he can use a nice rub with this win. So I am reluctantly picking Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, but pinning Darby Allin. So, not a big rub, but still, I think a rub on a big pay-per-view. Next up, Cody Rhodes versus Anthony Ogogo. I'm still not sold on Ogogo's one punch to the rib. I'm sorry. So I'm picking Cody after his American Dream promo. How can you not pick Cody, right? But we shall see. Next match, Hangman Page versus Brian Cage. Page versus Cage, very nice. This is another toss-up with how Taz's group's breakup seems to be on hold, which it looked like it was going to happen, but now with Stark's injured, I don't think that's going to happen. So I'll still go with Hangman, only because I see him moving to a title match against Omega at All Out after the Christian Summer Omega Summer going on. Then next up, Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle. Even though I have my Stadium Stampede shirt for the Inner Circle, they will also finish second in this one. I think it's time for the Inner Circle to disband. They have not done what they claim to be, which is badasses and champions. Only Jericho's been a title holder, no one else has. So I think it's time to move on. And Jericho can do his Fozzy gig during the summer and don't have to worry about being AEW. But yeah, I think it's time for Inner Circle to lose, and the Pinnacle will just keep on going forth. Next up, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD versus Hikaru Shida for the AEW Women's title. Yes, it is for me to say this, but it's time for a title change. I love Shida, but she is barely being used on TV. It's been a year. They're doing a special 1-year anniversary about Shida. I think that's kind of like a hint, like you had for the year. It's time to move on. And I think Britt is it's set. It's time for her to be the champion that everyone claimed that she should have been months ago. So I think it's Britt Baker's chance now. Next up is Miro versus Lance Archer for the TNT title. As much as I would love to say Lance to be the champion, it's too soon, so Miro should retain. I want to say with shenanigans, but AEW doesn't do that as much, thank goodness. So I will pick Miro to retain. But hard fought match, great, really hard hitting match. But I think there's a little twist in there somewhere. But still, Miro wins. Next up, Kenny Omega versus Pac versus Orange Cassidy for the AEW Championship. I'm going with Kenny Omega. He retains, defeating Pac, which can lead to a summer of Orange Cassidy and Christian Cage. And also Omega being the title collector. I don't see him losing right now. So I have him losing it all out. I'll predict that right now. Even if I'm not on a show, I'm going to say Omega loses it all out. So he'll hold on for the Summers, defending it and keep on winning. And finally, Young Bucks versus Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston for AEW tag titles. I'm going with Moxley and Kingston. This to have a fun summer of tag title matches with these two. And really, Young Bucks, they got their title. They should be happy. Time to move on already. No, I'm not serious with that. But I think this would be fun to have Moxley and Kingston as tag team champions. And it can create a lot more buzz than the Young Bucks being heels. So I can see a great match, but I see Mox and Kingston becoming new tag team champions. So yeah, that's a quick bit for me. It's like the indie cut used to be. But yeah, AEW Double or Nothing should be great. I can't wait to see it. Hope you all enjoy it. Hope you enjoyed this little bit of my cut. Take care, be kind, and be safe, everyone.
All right, thank you very much, Charlie. So there you have it, guys. You have my predictions as well as Charlie G's predictions for AEW Double or Nothing, and we're pretty much in agreement on most of this stuff. The only one where we differ on our opinions is the Cody Rhodes and Anthony Ogogo match. Charlie has Cody, I've got Ogogo, so we'll have to see how that plays out. But yeah, like I said, other than that, we are in sync on who is going to come out of Double or Nothing victorious. And I do want to make mention that it has been put out there that All Out will be back in Chicago this year, which I can't wait for. I am holding my breath, waiting for the on-sale date for tickets, because I am going to do everything in my power to make sure that I am there. I'm hoping and praying to the wrestling gods that there will be a StarCast event attached to this. Attached to All Out this time, because I will be there every single day for that one. But that's all just wishful thinking at this point. But I'm very excited that there are crowds back for wrestling. This will be the first wrestling pay-per-view with a full crowd. I know WrestleMania had a crowd. I'm not ignoring that, but this will be a full capacity crowd for the arena that it's in, and I think it's going to be insane. Cody Rhodes has already said he is going to go back to his original ring entrance for this event, the original version of Kingdom from Downstate. The crowd is going to go insane for that. I hope we get to see Jungle Boy actually get an entrance during the Casino Battle Royale, because I want to hear the crowd's reaction to his music. Jon Moxley's new entrance music, the Wild Thing, and we saw last night on Dynamite how loud and how big of a pop Chris Jericho's entrance music got. That's one thing with AEW. The entrance music alone gets the crowd just fired up, and I love seeing that. I've missed it. I know a lot of other people have missed it, so that's one thing that I can't wait to see, is just the reaction and the crowd interaction and singing along with the entrance music and things like that. So that is something I'm really, really looking forward to. So that is going to wrap things up for this special edition of Catch, Hook, and Shoot, our Double or Nothing preview and prediction show. But next week, make sure you tune in. Show will be dropping on Friday, June 4th. It will be a special, again, preview edition for Warrior Wrestling's Stadium Series. Night 1 coming up on June 5th, but on June 4th, we will be dropping our preview episode for that one, with some very special interviews with Steve Tortorello, the CEO of Warrior Wrestling, be breaking down the card with him, talking about all the different matches. He actually made some announcements for their July 17th show, which just kind of blew me away. I've already posted those on social media a couple of times. Hopefully you guys have seen it. And another very special interview with ring announcer, commentator, interviewer Val Capone. Just had an awesome interview with her. Can't wait for you guys to hear and see that one, because it was a great interview that I had with Val. It was fantastic. It was the first time I actually got to sit down and talk to her for any extended period of time, because even though we know each other, we see each other at Warrior all the time, but we're always both super busy doing whatever it is we need to do for the show. We never had an opportunity to just sit down and talk. So this was really cool. I can't wait for you guys to see this one. But like I said, that's next week on Friday, June the 4th. Make sure you check that one out. And then June the 5th, we will be, as always, broadcasting live from Warrior Wrestling, the first night of their 2021 Stadium Series. So make sure you tune in, hear all the play-by-play. We'll be broadcasting the entire event, and then the following day on Sunday, all of the commentary will be dropping as a special bonus episode of the show. So that is next week for Catch, Hook, and Shoot. So until then, I am going to sign off. Hope everyone has had a great couple of weeks. Hope everybody enjoys Double or Nothing and all the other great wrestling that will be coming up this week. Finally, wrestling with a crowd is back, and I can't wait for it. And I hope you guys are as excited as I am, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. So until next week, like I said, everybody have a great week. Enjoy all the great wrestling coming up, and I will talk to you guys soon.